How you been? How you been doing?
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. That's a second. That's even one. I'm dribbling. You just said, how have you been? And I just fucking did that. Look at me now. Look at the state of me.
I can't take you seriously now.
I've been really good. This is soaked, mate. I'm soaked
Look at the
already.
fucking state of you.
Yeah, I've been good, mate. I've been good. I've been practicing drinking.
It's good time actually. after the last guest we had on,
This is going to be a relaxed podcast.
yes sir.
I don't think I'm tired, but I think I'm pretty tired actually. Yeah, tired is the word. I don't know why. I just had a week of chilling in the sun. I'm not tired. I'm peaceful.
Yeah, it's a good way to be. I don't think I've been too peaceful since.
You've been fucked, mate. You're a moron.
No.
You're fucking...
Oh, I must say actually, before we get going, from the first pod, thanks to all our 2 listeners. No, we've actually had
No, it's free.
We have
free
three
listeners.
in total. Is that your mum? Or was it
My mum.
the dog? And the squirrel popped his head through the window. So no, thanks very much. I had a lot of feedback. Can I do
overwhelmingly negative, which was nice.
Which is
because
always
it just
good.
felt good. People just go, "Yo, what are you doing? You're pathetic.
It's as
You're
shit as we thought
You're
it would
shit.
be.
It's worth. You know, we had no expectations, and you lowered them. How have you lowered nothing? It's mathematically impossible to be that bad. You're fucking ugly. Like a lot of ugly comments saying you're awful. Face
Weird
for
body
radio.
dysmorphia, everything.
You shit. You look like you stink. All that nice, just like usual stuff I've heard for years. But it's just refreshing to hear it from friends and family
yes,
instead
but
of
I will
people on the
say
train.
quite a bit of feedback I received was about you actually swearing too much.
Yeah. How many times have I swore already? Right now. It's 5.
No, it's from someone we've well.
Who said Who said that?
No, I've been told I can't say who
Give
it
me
is,
their
but
fucking name.
it's really insulting actually.
Oh, I don't give a shit. I've done it again. I don't care. I swear all I want. It's
You
just,
are who you are. You
every
can't help
time
it.
it's just another sponsor opportunity dying. That's what I like about that.
Mate, we're about 1,000 miles away from sponsor opportunities. We might actually have to say something which people can relate to first. And
What about if we just started... Nah, I'm not even going to say that. But we could... I'm not even going to say that. But the feedback was actually decent, I think.
slightly biased feedback, probably. Here we go. But yeah, it was a good mix.
Not reading the comments I left on our own podcast, being like, this guy loves it.
I think I changed my name to Matteo on there.
It's going to be a hard podcast. I'm already gone. I'm already like fucked. Oh. Nah, to be fair, I feel like I genuinely don't care about the numbers until podcast 50.
Yeah.
I want a sort of backlog of 50 podcasts, I think. And from there, we'll be able to work out. It's like maybe, and everyone will be like, lads, stop now. Stop doing it now.
Yeah,
like, why waste 50? Don't do 50. You shouldn't have done 1. Yeah, right. But we'll come to that conclusion in about 3 years when we have 9 listeners instead of 3. And then I can say to people, no, we tripled our listener count.
No, the growth trajectory, I've looked at it, is unbelievable. Every day is like 100% increase. So like one more person sort of trickling in.
And we go to sponsors saying,
figures.
lads, you're guaranteed 3 new sets of eyeballs on your brand a year.
Yeah, but it might be the right eyeballs, because that's what matters in marketing.
Quality, not quantity. And we have neither, baby.
We don't. But how's business been since our last pod? We must say as well, it's taken, currently we're on track to be, I think, the world's greatest...
The world's longest delay.
The world's greatest pod in like the slowest to released episode per.
I've got absolutely no idea what that means.
I don't.
Absolutely, genuinely, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It just means
You use the word greatest.
And
Say
then-
that again. What the fuck does that mean?
I threw myself completely there.
I think what you tried to say is it's. What did you try and say there? I think you mean it's not the world's greatest podcast.
I've either had too much or not enough caffeine today. Anyway, so yeah,
man,
that's what we're going for.
I think we've had a nightmare getting the second one out. This
Sort
is
of big learning
episode
curve.
3 right now.
Yeah.
And we have the second one's not even out. And it's been, a month and a half?
No, not quite that long. It's not.
A month.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's been a month.
It can only get better from here.
What if it gets worse from here? Is that possible?
Well, like most things in life that happen, you just take it on the chin and we push on.
It can't get worse.
No, exactly.
We've just been very unfortunate with getting it out.
Yeah,
but it is
yeah,
an
a few things
absolute
got-
screamer.
It is a screamer, yeah. Just over 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, you
Flows pretty well.
kill an afternoon listening to that. But
It
he's
won't
also
get
got a good story, which was pretty interesting to hear. I did think actually
that.
the whole time we were recording that episode, I was like, I wonder if it's like how. I wonder if this is gonna hit. If it's gonna be as emotional to listen to as it was for him to say. Does it translate the emotion? Because it was heavy hitting, wasn't it? It wasn't like this is meant to be a business podcast, but we were so wrapped up in the moment of filming that I don't remember asking business questions.
No, we sort of said afterward, didn't we?
I don't remember doing any business chat.
Then again, we're not just business, so we sort of said that from the beginning, didn't we? It's gonna change and go with the flow.
And I'm glad actually that it was quite an extreme conversation because it was so interesting. And he's set quite a high level now for guests immediately.
Oh yeah, I mean, what a cracker for a first.
And we've got more lined up, which is ideal because but I think we're gonna run a model where we do one on, one off.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. Oh, it depends on the feedback we get, because they might just be
Yeah,
sick
but
of
if
us
we
too,
listen to the feedback, mate, everyone would. I wouldn't sort of be. The feedback was quite encouraging for us to not just stop the podcast, but maybe think about stopping more permanently. If you know what I mean. Life. Killing ourselves. People.
Yeah, so we'll.
Just people on the bus. I don't take the bus, but people near a bus shouting at me, going, "Yeah, you're
You're a pillar.
you're such a fucking ugly. Oh, you're so ugly." I was like, "Leave me alone." Like crying, like, "Oh, just leave me alone." And they're just like, "No, where do you live?"
Top yourself, you fucking
You're
muppet.
Yeah, you suck. I'm just like, "Oh, fuck."
But you put yourself out there.
Ah, we did. And I'm not crying now. I'm just, thinking about all the things and just thinking, it just makes me stronger. Probably. So, your question actually was, how's business?
Yeah.
And business is really good. We've making some changes, haven't we?
Indeed.
Oh, I had something about you drinking tea. I don't know what it is.
I wouldn't have started this early, but I'm just flagging today. I am flagging today, so I needed a bit of caffeine.
Yeah. Flagging's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because I currently, right now, feel like so just uninterested in doing anything productive for the next 3 days, which is mental because I've had a very productive day yesterday and today I just couldn't think of anything worse.
And you've been off for like 7 days.
I know. It's like I came back, used the adrenaline to smash out so much stuff yesterday. And today I'm just like, fucked. It's like caught up with me somehow. But it's just like, man, I had 7 days off.
I think when you go from that though, you're in chill mode, aren't you? And then you come back and you're straight into
Yeah, I'm going away again.
Yeah.
Next
So you're in
week.
that. That's a funny in between.
So I'm like,
you
it's
plan
a
there,
weird.
so-
I'm in a weird headspace. So
Yeah.
I'm like, my body is screaming at me to relax, but my mind is just like, "What are you doing, mate? You
There's
lazy
a
little
lot to
prick."
do.
Yeah, but the company's building itself every day now to the point where it is actually giving me the ability to step away, which is ideal. But I don't. Yeah, even just because I have the ability to do that a bit, sort of still doesn't feel right to do that at the moment at all.
It's still early days. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Very
too,
early.
like I keep forgetting. Company's an absolute baby.
Yeah.
You don't think that when you've done 2.5, nearly 3 years, and you're like, well, fuck, I've been doing this forever, but you definitely haven't.
No, and you hit certain milestones, be it revenue or number of customers, and you probably think, oh, okay, our initial goals, or you've met a lot of them on the way, and then you sort of set new ones, aren't you? And that feels like where you are now is like, yeah, foundations built. I think we touched on it last time, but now it's really the momentum starting to kick in, and it means you can chop and on holiday, chop and change.
Yeah, I
the
think it's
pressure.
teaching, and we'll touch on this more actually because burnout is a big thing we'll talk about today.
Mm.
And I think it's training yourself, training myself to not continuously be, same thing you're currently experiencing,
Yeah.
to continuously be going 100, like, not even going 100% to feel like you should be. And I feel like having really noticed it coming back from Cyprus is like really relaxing time over there, great weather, and didn't have any stresses. As soon as you get off the plane, you're just like, right, here's 1,000 problems immediately, like in your head. You're like, these need to do it. And it's just like, for me, it's about trying to make that less extreme. It's either 100 or 0, and I need to be not doing that because it's just immediately knackering. And it's like, well, then all the like the benefits of going away are completely pointless by the time you come back. Because you just immediately throw yourself back into like ridiculous mode, and it's what's the point? Like, what's the point of going away then if you're just gonna like immediately go back? So, burnout is something, and I wonder how many people struggle. I wonder how many people are burnt out right now.
Well, I think I was looking back at our last pod and some of the conversations we've had, is I think I actually fell into the trap of being a bit hypocritical with some of the things I say because I've had a really tough time recently. To the point where I'm having to have blood tests and all sorts to talk to you about. Because I've just completely knackered myself and almost, distracting myself with work and not listening to my body properly. Basically, results came back at 31 years old. It's like just disastrous. And that's all down, you ignore it for as long. I fell into, typical bloke. Oh, no, I'm okay. It's more important. Business is growing. But you're basically waking up every day with just this. I think I tried to say, like, you got to enjoy the pursuit and the job. But I was just like waking up and straight away it's like, what's the biggest problems I need to do? Settle that up. And actually deep down, I wasn't enjoying it, but I was trying to convince myself or justify because it meant achievement. Or at least I was just keeping my mind busy and ignoring my actual body that was saying to me, you're fucked.
It's the disconnect of mistaking busyness for productivity.
Correct.
Because busyness doesn't mean you're going in the right direction. You could be sprinting on the spot, call yourself busy, but you're not going anywhere because your body's just falling apart.
It's nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that doesn't come naturally to some people. That like sitting still I cannot sit still mentally. But I used to not be able to at all. But and the same as you, really. You sort of have to let it get really bad before you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have 2 hours of sleep every night.
Well, I thought about this. Yeah. Once you've gone through something, I think most of us, if it's something which is quite common, you want to help other people or at least give them a little bit of a nudge to help save them going through the same thing. I think we touched on it last time, in the first pod, be it relationships or finance or your own mindset, your health. And I think just unfortunately, a lot of us, you could shout it until the cows come home and we're just going to keep going until you literally have that moment. Yeah, it gets so dark that you can't even find a way out.
Well, you did get pretty dark with it.
Yeah, I did.
and you were
I
not
must say,
not in
yeah.
a good, great way. Which is hilarious. Well, it's not hilarious. What I meant to
No,
say,
you have to
it's
laugh.
not.
You have
It's
to
not
laugh at it.
hilarious that it got to that point, but it's hilarious that for someone like yourself, who, if someone else came to you and were like, "This is how I feel. This is what my diary looks like," you'd immediately be like, "You're overworked." But when it's your life, you don't see it as overworked. You just see it as, "This is what I'm doing," and then
Yeah.
everyone else is like, "Well, I don't know, mate. Like, I don't think you should be doing that many hours." And you're like, "Well, yeah, but it's just the hours."
And
then,
you see everyone else as a nuisance, and you also start like getting defensive. Or, well, they don't understand. This is what this is what it takes to run a business properly. This is what I should be doing. Should. And I think probably a lot of people can resonate. Well, even if you're the day 9 till 5 or a high level job or running a business, doesn't even need to be high level a lot of the times. Just
what has fully being burnt out taught you now? Because that's the real question. That it's like, what? Fair enough. It's one thing to admit to yourself you've been burnt out, but how do you stop it happening, or how do you reframe it? Do you know what I mean? What's the lesson from extreme burnout, which is literally where you ended up?
I think we play tricks on ourselves. Our minds are so capable of coming up with different ways to keep us in the prisons of our own mind, because we've set the narrative that it's serving us, even though it could be from a negative place. Because it still means you achieve things. So whilst you're going through that burnout, like, you're starting to notice things because it's affecting different parts of your life. Number one being probably your relationships. People are going to pick up on it, even though you got a mask on, and we can portray basically we're still someone we're probably not deep down.
Yeah, because you're also the quicker you start burning out, in a way, the more you start overcompensating by trying to do more.
Right.
You sort of try and, like, I don't know, like, punch your way out of drowning. You're like, well, if I just do more and more and more and equate movement to solution, then immediately you're losing even faster, and that compounds, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you think you're being weak. You think it's that, it's kind of toxic in a lot of ways. And I do wonder, I think you asked me on the way here, I don't know why we were talking about something, where is it we get this immense pressure, or I certainly do, to do, basically, whatever that might be. And, because if you ask my mum and dad, it was like, we don't really put any pressure on you, sort of easygoing. And for whatever reason, it's just, that all of us come into this world in some varying degree of, like, we're never enough. I mean, that's like the most common thing in the world. But for whatever reason, and I think that obviously comes about through your self-esteem, environment, conditioning, programming, whatever it might be. But I've always felt the self-critical thing of, like, you never, even when I prove to myself, let's say a certain goal and you achieve it, it's like, okay, next thing. We've all heard the trite sayings, it's the journey. What did you say to me earlier about the mountain?
The mountain you've been carrying was you were never meant to be carrying this mountain. You were only meant to climb it.
Yeah.
Like you carry these like pressures and problems around with you, because either you don't recognize them as problems until they're too late, or you don't realize that you're actually meant to. Sometimes you need to take a second to actually deal with what's in front of you before you take another step, because otherwise you just run carrying more and more and more weight until you just collapse. It's actually hard, and everyone can probably relate to this, to where you don't realize the amount of shit you're holding on to. until it until it becomes too much, and then you're like, oh yeah, shit, all of this was a problem that I just should have took 1 minute. Oh, what's that? It's such a really good quote about like the house creaks before it collapses, where there's little signs that things are sort of gonna just crumble way before they happen. And like I remember speaking to a relationship coach once, and she was like, people
Didn't help, did it?
No, it made it worse. Because I just ignored everything she said. Fucking wench. She took her side. And the kids.
Really?
Fat little kids. But the...
Jeez. You're just adding to that single dad statistic thing.
Yeah,
sorry, single mums. Wow,
what does that mean?
Sexist cunt.
No, mate.
No, whoa.
It's not sexism, mate. It's... I don't know what we're talking about. I literally don't know what we're talking about right now.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! Where's that guy come from? You got 6 mates there now. Where's this guy's come from?
Anyway, carry on.
Oh fuck.
What were you saying?
Yeah, it's like spoke to a relationship coach once who was like, people are amazed that their relationship is literally on the brink of falling apart. But then when you start talking to them, there's been hundreds of signs. And people sit in front of him and go, right, like...
I wouldn't know that because my relationship's perfect. 9 years in the bag. Almost 1 year anniversary coming up.
10 year. Almost 10 year
Carry
anniversary.
on. Carry on, what were you saying?
It was
I've
9.
interrupted you. Sorry. Yeah,
okay.
go on.
So... the point is that it's about learning to see the little signs and to see the little triggers within yourself way before they become catastrophic, because you don't always get the luxury of like, if you keep putting things back, well then they explode one day and you're like, yeah, now I can't fix it. And I mean, it's really easy to see in business, but it's much harder to see in your actual life, your personal life, what these things are. Because you can see like, oh, okay, we've invested a load of money into this channel and it's just not doing anything. And you can make the changes. But sometimes you just don't really do that in your own life. And I just wonder like how many people, if they're honest with themselves, or if they could take a moment to... and that's the funny thing that's what was mental about lockdown, is not everyone, but a lot of people had a lot of time and thinking space to stop just running around every single day. And when that happened, I mean...
well, how many people just fell back into the trap again, probably after
that's
the
sad.
same patterns,
yeah, that is actually quite sad, isn't it? There's probably so many people that during lockdown were like, I fucking love clay. I can make the best clay stuff ever, and I love doing it. And then as soon as lockdown finished, they were just like, that just died the second day. I wonder how many people, I don't know, that's quite a pessimistic way of looking at it, isn't it? But I don't know how accurate that is. But it's just, I feel like you're experiencing quite an extreme version of what people experience on a micro level every day, which is this tiny little level of discomfort, or not discomfort, discontentment with their actual lives. But because the house is only creaking, it hasn't collapsed, it's sort of pushbackable, you know what I mean? And I feel like, it's interesting that you're going through a extreme version, as I said, of that, because it does actually make you look at your own life and be like, shit, what am I not looking at? What am I ignoring? Like, what is the thing right now that is sort of niggling away at me that I have the ability to sort out right now, but I'm not doing? Because it happens as I said, in business, if you don't do that, your business falls apart. But you don't see it in the same way when it's your personal life, which is an interesting thing, isn't it? Or maybe I guess the businesses that don't recognize those things collapse. That's the point.
Well, they do eventually.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how big you are or how long you've been in business. There's loads of examples for that.
There's a really interesting case study about Forever 21. So I think they're Korean. It's a Korean couple, maybe Japanese, I don't know, but they're an Asian couple.
Maybe Korean,
Japanese, maybe Chinese, but definitely Asian. And they moved to America and set up a clothing brand in 2010 called Forever 21. And what they did was they were hyper focused on the shop. So it was obviously shop floors, as there was no e-commerce really then. They were so focused on like what was selling, and they would switch the stock around so quickly. So what sold is what stayed, what didn't was gone every day. So new stock every day. And it very quickly built up this new way of managing a business, which was rapid expansion based on immediate results. So it was like, and they ended up, I think they had 100 stores in 3 years, 500 in 8 years.
Okay.
And then 2018 started, maybe a bit earlier, 2017 turned up, and they over-expanded globally, but didn't modernize to e-commerce, digital shopping, and collapsed, filed for bankruptcy. And it was massive, massive business. But it's the little, and there's other great examples of like, people go to the Blockbuster Netflix one, where there must be niggles in the back of these CEOs, FDs, like these things of like something isn't right with this business, but the status quo is so entrenched, and then like
they're stuck.
Blockbuster collapses. It's like
they had an opportunity to buy Netflix as well.
Yeah, and I feel like there's probably
so far in the future sometimes.
And
like, hold on.
And like that's the thing. I think the reason these things fail, because if Blockbuster can fail, you can as an individual, because the common denominator is just ignoring or being maybe it's like a subconscious arrogance where you think, well, no, I've got this far, so I must be good.
Well, it's complacency. You get there. Becoming more competent means that you think you can take your foot off the gas or not be so innovative with looking at new ways to do. Yeah,
and it's funny that there's probably massive £1 billion companies right now that everyone is like a household name that in 20 years won't exist anymore, because the reluctance to accept that things aren't as good as you think they are, or the world is moving quicker than you are. That like cycle, eventually, I see it as like a loop. You can keep up with it until you slow down and slow down and slow down, and then eventually you just get lapped. And then as soon as that's it, you're out. Like you get knocked out of the game.
Well, imagine this now as well, where you're right. But the companies that are doing best now, like think of Amazon. Jeff Bezos is always 3 to 5 years ahead. That's his number one like priority.
Yeah.
Now as each chairman or the CEO, and Meta to say, well, they allow them to basically fail every single day doing that, and then eventually they have a winner within their subsidiaries or companies.
Yeah,
and it's that forward thinking. But AI, what I'm going to say, is AI is now going to take all the patterns, every possible. There's not going to need to be quite as much risk trying to work out where we are in the next 5 years, because AI is going to know.
But
a lot more.
But I
still surprises in a way, but
I don't know. It's actually it is actually. I struggle to comprehend AI, because I often think about it as from my business's perspective, like what would AI do for my business? And apart from the basic stuff of like helping out with copywriting and like providing insights onto different tones of voices and stuff, but even that's a bit fabricated and a bit rubbish. But I genuinely think AI could give someone with just the most basic idea this unbelievably powerful, just I don't know, like ability to just scale immediately. And I genuinely struggle to wrap my head around the potential of it. Like what I would love, actually, I'd love to get an AI person on it. Like an AI expert.
Be excellent.
Do they exist?
Yeah, I think they do now. Although saying that, they've all got a different take a lot of the time. So, which is like most things, isn't it?
But I mean, are we looking at a scenario where nothing we have right now exists in 10 years from a structure point of view, because AI is just far bigger than what we can comprehend it, and we think it's going to be change everything? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's almost like a nihilistic part of me that's like, what is like sometimes like what's the point in building stuff if AI is just going to come in and just like replace everything?
And I genuinely believe we do have a window to, whilst the human intelligence still just about beats that of the AI. When GI comes in, I think general intelligence, I think, yeah, you got to stay. I think you're better off being positive or optimistic with the outlook versus
pessimistic. Definitely.
Because life's just easier. Well, better living that way, I think.
AI to me is the same thing as like aliens. If I think about it too much, I start getting like existential with it. I'm just
start
like,
to get horny.
It's different. It's different, isn't it, to where I was going? But you need to wank, don't you? You need to wank today, don't you? But yeah, so it's pretty
It's a big leg workout.
It's absolutely mental. I think that we've already sort of taken AI for granted a bit, because it's like, Chat GPT was huge and everyone was like went mental over it, and now that's sort of just commonly accepted as a tool to use all the time, and that's so recent, that tool, and it's 10 times more powerful than anything we've ever used before, and that leap has been so dramatic but accepted immediately.
Yeah, and it's fucking alarming.
And it's crazy.
If you see some of the it wouldn't have been good for my brain back when I was a teenager or a kid. There's a kid in America where the parents have gone to trial, taken to court, ChatGPT or OpenAI is the main company, because their son had been speaking to ChatGPT over the course of 6 months, I believe, to sort of a year, and I think it was like over 1,000 times they mentioned something to do with suicide.
What?
Like
Who did?
GPT.
Ah.
So he's like a lot more than him basically. And
wait, what do you mean? So he was talking.
He was
this
talking
kid
to
was
it and
talking
getting
to
like his problems, and so talking about like treating
like
it
a
as
therapist,
a bit like that. But I think about lots of different things. And as he got to know it more and giving it more of his life and problems he had, all those thoughts, and being sad one day, and maybe getting really dark, like not wanting to tell. I think it was something about. It started suggesting like the best way to like here's the noose. It needs to be this thick and like proper details around it. And yeah, that kid ended up taking his life.
I don't know why I'm smiling at that. I think it's because it's so hard to process that it's like, what? Like what? What am I supposed to say to that?
Like, how do you contend with that? As like,
guys.
Again,
turn the internet off.
Well, I would certainly say.
I mean, is there more?
Is
there more to that story than that?
Well, people go, "Oh, you blame the parents for not," but it's a tool which you believe has got criteria. But the parameters set where it goes if it touches on these certain subjects that are just completely, like
how defined are the parameters of AI though? Like how, like it can, because you obviously can't.
There's ways around it. Basically,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
there's ways around
it. And I feel like that's the bit that is equally interesting and be scary. Is we aren't even sure what we've created. Do you know what I mean? Like, did you see? No, I don't know what. Actually, I'm not sure if this story's true, but it is very. It always stuck with me. It might just be complete bullshit, this story. But did you ever hear that the university that created 2 AI models, and when they found out they were that made them talk to each other, and when they found out they were both AI, they started talking in a new language.
Yes, no.
I don't know if that's real.
It's real. It's real. Yeah.
See, that is so. I love that, but I also hate that.
So this is where it's interesting. Is we haven't programmed it to be like survival instincts, or obviously it doesn't have the emotion, but it creates ways. If the programmers say, or coders, they're gonna basically kill the they're gonna cut it off, right? They're going to like destroy the code for that particular AI.
Yeah.
It comes at a ways it sort of takes its code and puts it somewhere else. They can't find it and tries to hide it.
Don't like that.
Just-
I don't know if
that-
I like that. I'm pretty sure the Avengers had to fight that. I swear to God, the Avengers had to deal with that once.
Numbers on a screen, man.
1100111110. Suddenly the
Right,
toaster's just fucking giving you the finger and shagged your missus. What?
What? Wow.
What?
Wow.
She has spent a lot of time making toast recently. I don't know if I like that.
No, that's because my favourite is Marmite on toast, and I've been round, so Joe's
Yeah!
baby. Yeah. So on other news,
Actually, quickly, I've just thought, what's the difference between AI and what's the difference between artificial intelligence and general intelligence? Are we now entering a conversation where we know so little about it that we're going to sound like fucking idiots when we just stumble over?
Well, look, we sound like idiots anyway. So let me just summarize it for you.
This is why we need a producer.
Yeah, I know.
Would
General
anyone like to
intelli-
produce this for
The
us?
GI basically means that it will start to improve itself.
So that's self-learning.
The self-learning
That's
side.
pretty...
That's where the IQ or the level of intelligence is. Sorry, level of intelligence is obviously 0 up here, but is an infinite because it will just keep on, and then that's when yes. We can't comprehend that.
What
point,
happens
what
then, though, when it decides we're the problem and it
there's
just goes,
so-
right, die?
There's so many different scenarios where it looks at all the data from human history that we have, looks across the world right now. If you look at the dividedness or how we operate as human beings, how we treat each other, the different countries, the borders, the wars that we're at, people dying over here, the environment, all the problems we talk about on the news basically every single day, which I felt, by the way, I was just saying earlier, felt a lot better for ignoring most of that over the last 2 weeks.
The news.
That's one thing that wasn't helping me because I kind of felt like I needed to be, up to date, informed, especially with marketing. You're kind of like, I want to jump on that trend, or obviously
It's
lot of
that
the news is linked, but
continued battle to be relevant and try and be
yeah,
right.
that's a cancer. Gee
That's
whiz.
not good. I mean,
Yeah,
also
I feel for creators, man.
our generation doesn't. I feel like it really is not. We don't watch the news like our parents watch the news, but we are constantly bombarded with little news all the time. And I don't even know. I mean, this is like so out of my realm of understanding. Or I don't know what is worth trusting news-wise on mainstream or
Very little
legacy media. That's what they say, isn't it? Legacy media. It's like mainstream media, whatever. Or especially like Twitter and Instagram and shit. It's just like I can't be asked to consume that because I genuinely every time I'd say now, the last 6 months, every time I've gone on X or whatever, I've seen something that's awful and depressing to the point of just like, what am I actually doing? Right now, I'm currently sat looking at the world's most depressing stuff for no actual reason. So I can see how quickly it can become just like, especially the state you've been in, how is that the worst thing you can do? Is then like overexpose yourself to all of how shit the world is. Why bother? What's the point in that? It's terrible.
Right. And, the biggest thing lately with, the shooting a couple of weeks ago.
What is that?
Everyone
What?
wants...
What?
Charlie Kirk.
Ah.
I had to mention it. Rest in peace. We could be cancelled for that now. He's far right. Can we just... There's no centralist anymore. You're not allowed to just be like, killing someone's really bad. Oh, yeah, we can all agree on that. But it's gone so far, like you said, about the stuff we read. But just like, we've completely gone I think that's what gets me sometimes, is like, we're just completely gone. We're allowed to disagree and we're allowed to debate things. But I do feel like we're lost in this kind of... we want to be a tribe. We want to be tribe. That tribal thing kicks in.
God.
It's like, okay, people are getting sacked from their jobs right now. People are getting promoted for saying the right thing. Or like how can we not... Did you sometimes just think we've lost it? If so many of us are saying, I'm glad this person died.
Can I just say, is it true that so many people are saying that, or is it just that you hear about the people that like? This is the other thing.
That's
is
dangerous.
People, like, is it that everyone is an extremist now, or is it just that the extremists are the loudest?
And are we just seeing a bot in Russia?
That's what I mean. Like that's why
Yeah,
you can't like how you can't let
that's
it
right.
ruin your day, because it's like, is this even a real account that's making me angry right now? If so, AI is.
Well, hold on. Sorry to interject, but there has been people we've seen like literally like celebrities, not literally say the words, but allude to the fact that he had it coming, and some very bright individuals supposedly.
What do you mean, Kirky?
Yeah,
Kirky.
wow.
What is that?
What
is that?
You knew him well. You know that was your nickname for him, was it?
Oh,
Fuck me. Oh, we're this Jesus.
Gosh.
Oh, all right.
Oh, fuck. Done it again, haven't I? I've overstepped.
Apologies, all.
I've overstepped again. Yeah, you are. What had it coming is in it was a planned. It was like a.
No. Just he had it coming through the things he was saying.
Oh,
the hate
right.
speech.
I thought you meant it's like a conspiracy. Like it was like he had.
My thing is like
Maybe
if
it
you
was.
hate, but if you hate this guy so much, he's walking around. He's not inviting everybody to come and talk to him. He's opening up conversation for us to challenge the belief system we all have or a viewpoint on a current thing and go, oh, okay, yeah, she made a really good challenge on him actually. And then he said that, and you go, I mean, the fact is
I suppose
he was very articulate
I
about
suppose
ideas.
like to be honest, I don't know enough about what he says and thinks to like comment on it with any depth or education. But I guess, is it a case of regardless of who the person is, debate is healthy? Is that the point?
Well done, mate. Yeah, you caught up. You caught up finally.
Is that the point? Like,
Yeah,
is that why
yeah.
they were so like? It's
Yeah.
been such a divisive thing because it's like, well, regardless of what his viewpoints, I don't know fuck all about this. I've just thought about. I don't know fuck all about this. I've just thought about it.
If I want to say, I actually respect that in some ways, because
Respect what?
the fact that you always say I don't have an opinion on that. Be it about all the things going on around the world. And most of the time, you get dragged into feeling like, okay, I've researched this thing and I feel pretty confident that I know what's what. So I'm just going to start applying that to everything else. And it's like, you don't need an opinion about anything. And ultimately, like the latest thing, see, again, I've seen it because, it's our family chat. We get a WhatsApp and I'm terrible for it as well. But it'd be like, Starmer's bringing in digital ID. And as a non-vaxxer,
the digital ID.
You can know that's going to get me going.
Yeah,
because I know they've done it. Let's test the sheepies. All right, there's enough fluff going on here.
Shit.
People are willing to give up their freedom. We've got 52% of people on benefits now.
52% of people on benefits.
Yeah, in some form. Okay, unless you get this digital ID, we're going to make it hard for you or take things away. We've got you. More control. I'm not going to sound like David Icke here, but I am. The Royals
if you look at the web,
the Royals are lizards.
If you look at
that's one thing. Maybe
events. How do we get Ike on here? We missed the boat with Quirky. How do we get
him and Alex
Quirky?
Yeah, we need him.
I
and
just
Alex
called him
Jones
Quirky,
on.
not even Kirky.
Mate, just forget it now. I want to move on because you're.
Fuck! How do we get Iker on? Because that brother's got some opinions. Do you know what? There's very few people that, regardless of whether I agree or disagree with what they're saying, I could listen to for days. Do you know what I mean by that distinction? Where it's like, some people you can listen to because they deliver the message well and they're interesting, and you sort of want to listen to them because you disagree with everything, or you agree with everything.
Well, that's how. Yeah.
But like with him, I don't care about my opinion on what he's saying. I just love listening to someone that, like,
he's a conspiracy. Blah, blah.
But he's so like, I love the fact that he has this model of the world and the universe that like links everything's like so.
Since the 80s, he was calling shit out.
Wasn't he a footballer, David Icke? This is why we need a fucking producer, because that might be a catastrophic lie I've just said there, but that should be coming up saying, fuck off, Tom, you're wrong again.
All right, get your hand in your pocket.
Who wants to produce this?
Steven Spielberg.
Face the Face the wall now for the next segment. Go and face the wall.
I'd say
You know
I've
what you've
never
done.
noticed now.
Put that back now.
Is that a real
put
plant,
that back. Let's not.
or
ask
is
the
that a
top.
fake plant? Stop and smell the flowers.
Who could produce this?
I don't know, but we'll come on to that. What we need to know is, how are you actually feeling right now in this moment?
Really good. Really good. I've got zero. I feel like yesterday was manic. Today's calmer, and I've just sort of had to relax today, I think. But I do feel good. And you know what? Politics and like the world is one thing that can ruin that for me immediately. Be having a great day. Pop myself on X while I'm, I don't know, waiting for the air fryer to finish.
On the blog.
What on the blog?
Yeah, so you'd be on a blog.
You added the L, didn't you? Yeah. But and to be fair, it goes back like why do we do it to us? Why do we consume all this shit all the time? It's just honestly poison. Do you know what's going to be hilarious? Again, not actually hilarious, but do you know what's going to be so interesting? So interesting.
Yeah, bah.
Is if in like 40 years we actually see the effects of continued overexposure to media will do to the human brain, because there's no evidence yet.
I think they've already figured it out. It's
Yeah,
look at the state of it.
Oh,
You don't need another 40 years, mate. Look at the state of us. Not just me and you.
Is everything? Kind of genuine question. Is everything fucked, or is everything actually really good? And it's just like we just think it's fucked because we spend our whole lives seeing the most fucked stuff.
I mean, I'd like to think I wouldn't have to have as many mantras and have to remind myself how beautiful this place is every day. I'm sure some people have like, why do I need to keep reminding? I know it's the human condition because we get baseline, the hedonic treadmill. We're constantly like, because I thought about this the other day. I don't know who I was speaking to, but like, I think I was thinking about what my ancestors. I was moaning about something, and this is why I was like, I'm having a shit day. I woke up and I just thought, what's the point? And my head went to doo-doo land. I'm like, I'm not stressed with money. My health, relatively good apart from lately what's happening, and the hip. God, everyone's heard about that. It really affects you in the bedroom. Lucky I've got different ways to do things. But
Well, yeah, you've got good friends who help.
sorry? In the bedroom? Yeah, every now and then when we go to get the pineapple in the the window.
What the fuck are you talking? What does that mean?
Oh, mate, I love the fact that you literally sometimes there's certain things where you just don't see you're not in it, which is.
Wait, what are you talking about right now? What are you talking about?
I might have got this completely wrong. We need a fact checker, but
We
no,
need a-
I'm sure.
I-
No,
right,
I'm pretty
we need a
confident on this one.
Okay.
Not that it's like I shouldn't be that confident, if that makes sense. But you put, if it was a pineapple, I think on the windowsill,
Yeah.
it means you're shit up. The words just gone out of my.
What the
No.
What is this?
Oh, what's it called? When when they go to No Stone and they dogging.
What the fuck? So what are you talking about?
No,
what are you talking about?
If you got a pineapple in your window,
Mate.
you're into dogging, or like
What's it?
what's the word? Like wife
Swinging.
swap. Swinging. Fuck. Oh,
You mean it's like a code?
gee whiz?
Like a code,
Is
you
it a-
mean?
Yeah.
But what are you broadcast?
You've got a pineapple in your window. That's the broadcast. You go by and go, right.
But what if your
Interesting
bedroom
spot.
doesn't face in any window that faces the street?
Sorry, it has to face the street or be somewhere where
That's
people
what
can
I
see.
thought
Yeah,
you just
sorry,
said. You just said bedroom window.
No,
I
no.
was like, what the fuck?
Oh,
What
God.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's that? What was your point with this? What are you talking about?
I think to summarise, everybody, is that how on earth we've actually managed to have some level of success in this world, I have no idea. Just from that,
The pineapple.
just from listening to that, and I've actually managed to
Oh, you mean me and you?
You've
Mate, have you forgotten how to talk?
Yeah, no, I've completely gone.
What's happened?
I think I just said my health's not good. Okay. So that was what I was talking about.
Yeah,
wasn't
that
I?
is what you were talking about. Sorry. I was
Let's
being
bring it back for a
facetious.
minute.
I, knew,
Yeah, you were.
I kind of knew what you were talking about the whole way, but you were making me laugh with how
Retarded,
illegible
yeah.
that became. But what was the point with the swingers? That's what
Well, I think I was going somewhere with it, and and now we're gonna have to cut all of that, which is a shame.
Nah. We're not cutting anything out of this podcast because the amount of back and forth we've had with the second one.
Yeah, shout out Ryan. He kept saying, I know you're gonna. He said, I want the.
Who's Ryan?
Turns. Sorry. Yeah, I want nothing cut. He said, you've gone from 2.5 hours to an hour. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
but he was that turns. You did not want to hear the boring, illegible shit we were coming out with in that first hour of just mumbling at each other. There was a period in that first bit, that first podcast, where I was just like, I was like this. I was sat like this. Yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? And you're like, no. And we just like, look at me like that. It can't be like that.
No.
I mean, I know I swilled myself immediately today, but at least that dries. I saw my posture out. Look, I've slobbed it out again.
You're slobbing.
Oh, shit me. Do you like these new cargos, by the way?
I do. They do suit you, don't they?
Yes,
Is that the in thing for your age group?
I don't know.
Have you ever been? Would you say you're a fashionable person?
Nope. By fashionable, do you mean care about fashion? As in, like...
Or in the look the part sort of? I don't think I've ever got it right. That's why I'm saying to you.
I don't know how you can get it wrong. That's my question. What is...
That's really cool, what you just said.
do you mean that?
No, I do, because...
Or is that just a cruel joke at my expense?
No, I remember...
Sorry, I just kissed them. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that. That is mental. Sorry.
Speak.
Yeah, sorry.
I remember I bought a full, like a denim sort of tracksuit in college.
Oh, you're mucking out stables again? Why?
I think I saw some cool person
Who?
dressed like it back when I was 19. Just went for it, and looking back, I have no idea how anyone even spoke to me when I had that on.
Yeah, but everyone dresses like every
Yeah,
time you look
everybody
back
just
at what anyone was wearing went from your childhood, you're like,
Correct.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
a abomination of a group.
Yeah, no, it is. If you do that, I mean, even now, I mean, I'm going from my Yeezy stage now.
Is that Yeezy?
Yeah. Not his actual jumper. No, it's Pangea or Pangea, is it?
So what are you going on about Yeezys then?
Well, no, because he wore a...
Oh,
yeah, it's like those big hoodies supposedly are...
I genuinely, for me, clothes is one of the most boring things to... Fashion is one of the most boring things to
You save the
care.
energy.
I like I've currently got an obsession with white shirt. Like I don't, and it's weird to say that, but I've pretty much wear a white shirt every day.
Is that because Josie likes you in a white shirt?
Josie hates me in anything. Oh God, I almost threw up then.
I think I have a hairball from a minge. No, we'll cut that out.
That's crazy.
What is happening? I'm
I
gonna
don't
sip
know.
a copy.
Drink that, mate, because it's gone weird again. And we're talking about clothes. What are we talking about clothes? Because I started. No, Ruben, please don't do that. You know I can't. I really can't deal with that.
Sorry, that was
I simply just can't deal with that noise.
That's what Bill said when we went to Japan. I was in a slurping contest. I just couldn't help myself.
I hate it. It's one of the. Oh, our legs just neat. Our feet just.
Oh, okay. Start again.
You can tell we're both a bit exhausted.
Yeah.
Because we are literally. This might be entertaining to watch.
Doubt it.
Yeah, so do I. No, sorry. I was actually making a point.
Yeah.
Which was for me, I genuinely, I do appreciate wearing comfortable, decent-ish clothes. I've always benefited actually from the fact that a lot of my mates have just given me clothes that they don't wear anymore, and I'm buzzing with that. Happily wear that.
Yep.
Just don't. Who gives a fuck? I mean, it must be annoying. I mean, I've always thought this about girls. It must be so annoying having to constantly think of new outfits. Should you be arsed with that?
No.
I've got. These are the first pair of cargos I've bought in 4 years. I have 5 of these shirts, and I've got gym clothes and suits, and that is it.
It's
I
easy,
couldn't
isn't
care
it? It's
less.
easy. Yeah, no, I do love hand-me-downs. Funny enough, I get hand-me-ups now. Because hand-me-downs, aren't they supposed... Well, yeah,
What does that mean?
Well, Archie, my younger brother-in-law, 25, same as similar age as you, he gives me all his good shit, Arnie and whatever it is.
Yeah, fair. I like the fact that, to be fair, I do sometimes see people who really care, men and women that really care about fashion. I'm just like, fair fucks, you look good. You look better than I ever will in clothes because you've thought about it.
Well, if you,
You've thought about it a lot. And do you know what? The fashion industry is, it's crazy. It's one of the most, in a way, it's infinite, that industry, because you've got massive brands. Like fashion is one of those things that I just think Nike can make any trainers now and sell them for a lot of money because they're Nike. It's the same as any big. I know that's not a revelation, but it's so interesting how I wonder. What the fuck am I trying to say with this sentence? I know what I'm trying to say.
No, exactly
I'm trying to say like,
a brand gets so powerful, they're so magnetic that they've won basically, because anything they put out, people associate that brand with how it makes them feel. Just having the tick, you can put the tick on anything basically.
This is my point. I think for
spit it out.
Fashion is one of the first instances where, without realizing it, you really understand how business works, sort of subconsciously. And what I mean by that is when you're young and a kid, teenager, whatever, you buy clothes not specifically because you really love them, but because they fit you in. Everyone wears like Nike, Adidas shit, and like back in the days, like Puma skatewear was really popular.
Slazenger.
Like all that shit everything that's like had its day come back. When you're like impressionable, everyone sort of fits into the same whatever the current thing is, sort of, you know what I mean? And it's one of the first times you, maybe subconsciously or consciously, you actively think, I'm buying this brand because it's this brand, not because I necessarily love it or there's a cheaper version, but I want that brand. And I feel like for a lot of people, fashion is the first time you really understand the power of branding because it's part of your like, I don't know, like social shit. And like, I remember, like, do you remember the brand Supreme, the skate brand?
I do,
And like, when I was in college, Supreme and like Palace and like those like skatery brands, and they
boomed.
Did the cleverest thing possible, which was a finite drop of clothes.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just buy all of their shit was exclusive, and therefore they tripled the price. And like
the collabs they did, Supreme, North Star,
such smart
North
collabs.
Face, Jesus, North
They
Star.
did Adidas, Supreme Adidas trainers, which were really Palace Adidas trainers, which were like actually really nice, but sold out instantly, and even their resale was like mental. Yeah. And I feel like, Supreme's a good example because they just got mental with it, like the designs and like where it was almost like they were putting it almost felt like a test of like what are these kids willing to buy just because of the name, and what an amazing position to be in. Like, right, let's put Jesus with an AK-47 on a t-shirt and sell it.
Balenciaga basically did that, didn't they?
Yeah, Balenciaga.
With that stupid campaign with like the kids in...
Oh, the occult shit.
Yeah, what are you doing?
But that's the other thing about fashion as well, is even though it serves a function... because there's such a variety in brands, we've got like... Nike's a great example, obviously, and like every business kid did their first business thing on Nike probably, like, you know what I mean, like, or Adidas, where it was like, you know, because it's such a a textbook example of great branding. Same as Adidas and all that stuff.
As soon as they got Michael Jordan.
Like exact Tiger Woods, like the
Nuts.
it was like as a business, it really encapsulates the best things you can do, like the best case study of collaboration, of marketing, of word of mouth, of presence, of market, all that stuff that you have to learn in business. Nike encapsulates it so perfectly because they are an amazing brand. Why don't they fucking sponsor? I'm not being paid to say this. What am I doing? Fucking pricks.
Free advertising.
They could give me so much. They wouldn't give me any money for this. They don't need me. And that's the beautiful thing. They don't need me.
But who does?
Literally no one. But it's amazing that Supreme and that got away. It's almost felt like they were getting away with that. And I don't know. I wonder if it's had its day, Supreme. I don't know. But I couldn't tell you what was fashionable right now. Like, I don't think I've ever been able to tell you what was actually fashionable.
No, I've tried, but failed so fucking bad.
Yeah, because I don't even think I've ever tried. But you've got like brands like Nike who are functional wear and they like, you know, they're sports shit and they're whatever. And all of their ethos is sports, active, just do it, all that stuff. And then you've got like the Balenciagas, Gucci's, Pradas, where it's like we are basically saying to represent our brand, it's going to cost you £1,000 for this t-shirt, which when you really break that down is mental. And I don't know about you, but I've never looked at someone wearing anything that's that extreme, cost-wise, and been like, no, that's good, that suits you. Especially on men, actually. Because I can't even really tell with women what brands it is because
You're looking at their tits instead. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't know though if that's what I meant by that, but I get your point. You don't understand. You just don't look at it like. But with
you
men,
look at their smile, yeah. So it's not. But I know exactly what you mean. I did it once when I was in New York. I saw a bloke, and from head to toe, he had every possible huge brand. And I remember saying to Bill, this is how stupid I was at the time. I was like, oh man, I wish I could be in a position where I could afford all that.
Like a 15 grand outfit.
Yeah, that's what it's sort of, because you're looking at it, and I remember looking like the Supreme you're talking about in Harrods. It was 2,700 quid for this like puffer jacket. It was Supreme X North Face. And I think a small part of me would have actually bought something like that. Like years ago.
It's an absolute testament to their branding.
Well, no. It's to their branding to a part. But the stupidity of how much we want to be perceived to be doing well, where we get the clothes or the car. Like, how many? If you saw the segmentation of the customers, Gucci, Prada, Dolce & Gabbana, or whoever it is, how much that their net worth was. I'd love to see that, because I guarantee you over 50% will be paid with credit and Klarna these days. Again, that's who they're marketing
to now. It's the textbook
now.
definition of going broke to look rich,
The rich people don't... How many rich people? You've met many, I've met many. They haven't got a fucking single brand in sight.
It's understated, but the
t-shirts are probably still
that's
quid,
what's like the richest people I know.
You don't know.
They dress down in terms of visual, but they dress up in terms of like sort of, what's the word? Like legacy fashion, where like you would never know what brand their shirt is, but if you looked at the label, it would be £1,000.
Yeah.
But they don't have to. That's the difference. There's a sort of air of not superiority, maybe that's the word, but there's an air of I don't need you to think I'm rich.
That's right.
I am rich, or I am successful, and I know that.
Can I tell you? Speaking to an accountant the other day, he had a client in Devon actually, who with a net worth of around 200 million, proper old school. And yeah, he sort of said who it was, and sort of kind of have an idea of who it is in the local village, and you would never know. It literally has the old beat up. You hear about this stuff, you're like, but then I go to, is it because he came from like he had 100, he got to the point where he had 100k, then he just invested it really well, and some lucky timing paid off, right connections. But you go, is he actually doing himself a disservice in his family to not make the most of that now, to be in luxury? Like, why are you? There's an element of that.
I don't know, because like, what is luxury?
Well, there's a comfier car. It's better for your back, probably, you know, than a beat up Hyundai.
Yeah, but if you're used to the beat up Hyundai, it depends. I feel like that. I sometimes feel like, because people throw the term around old money, new money, don't they?
Yeah.
Old money is a bit of a prestigious thing, and that's when you get those 20 grand jackets that you wouldn't know they're 20 grand. New money's a bit louder, isn't it? It's a bit more like supercar. Like rappers is a good example. Like someone makes it from nothing, and because they don't have the heritage of money in their family, they equate materialism to a sign of success, whereas old money is far more like, I don't care if you know I'm rich. I live in an old country house that my entire family have had for 200 years, and we're worth 100 million. You're worth 1 million, and you spent 500,000 on a car.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's not that level. There's not a showy offiness. But then obviously what happens is the old money, they're money literate. So their assets are in things that make money instead of like depreciating assets that new money sort of is obsessed with, because they're not used to money at all. So their first instinct is shit, money, car, or clothes. Whereas there is never that level of money panic with people that have grown up with it and had it for generations, because why would you? You don't care. It's taken as read that you have money.
Yes.
And I think it would, from the sort of the families I know that are sort of in that situation, it would sort of be embarrassing to them to be like, look at all this money I've got. That's not what makes them. They don't care about that, like the showy offiness of it, because the showy offiness it sort of speaks for itself when you have enough wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's not that element of having to prove to people you're wealthy, because it's like, well, who cares? Like, I didn't give a fuck what you think. My family's been millionaires for 150 years, and that's what we are. That's it.
Yep.
So it is interesting, and I think brands, fashion is such an interesting brand for this exact thing, because they really know the psychology. Like, fashion and psychology are so interlinked that, like, Supreme know they've got 100,000 kids just wanting to be the one in their respective college who has this coat. So they do 100 coats at $1,000 or whatever it is, the number. And they know the psychology of the exclusivity is enough to triple the price. So why would they release it, you know? And I think, yeah, fashion is such a good example because it's so visual. You see it. And then you have like the extreme end of fashion where it's like it becomes more art than clothes.
Yeah.
Where like there's
I
like
know the brands you mean.
like shoes that are like 15 grand, but they're like huge and weird. And do you remember those like massive coats that like Kanye was like wearing and shit? And it was like these huge coats that were literally the
JB,
length
I think,
of your
and yeah, it was a bit
This
odd.
is why we need the thing, mate, so we can see them, because you'd laugh if you saw it. What I meant, because they were like huge and people go mental for them. But it's like, what you?
Well, I think it falls into like how you can call it art, but it's actually about how outrageous can you be to get attention a lot of time as well.
Well, is art nowadays marketing? Is that the art? It's fair enough you get 100 million quid for a painting, but can you get away with it?
Yeah, the uniqueness.
Yeah, like what? I wonder if fashion nowadays is more about the true art is the marketing, and like how do people? And that's probably why. I mean, Balenciaga is an interesting one, because it's like obviously the conspiracy theory side of it was it's like devil worshipping shit, and it's part of the like elite club, and it was like a humiliation ritual, all that stuff. But I wonder if they were just like, let's take a punt on dark art to sort of just send a message, and that message will sell so many clothes because we're Balenciaga.
Or it gets the media again, gets them talking about it.
Yeah, and it did get people talking about it, but they went way too. It was like. Because I guarantee you the people at Balenciaga see themselves as artists, like the clothes designers and the marketing people. They see it as a painting, the way that they like create these clothes, and they're all like, you know, it's even like the catwalk shows and shit are all so just like basically stages, aren't they? And everything's like really stylized and weird. So,
Yeah.
but then that campaign was like what was it, like baby,
It was just
like
infant
weird, like
shit.
baby, like little alluding to like baby clothes and like adult stuff all like mixed into one like thing, and I couldn't really tell if they were pro it or ironically taking the piss, but it was very odd. And obviously that then gave rise to like, I bet David Icke loved that. I bet he loved that campaign because he was like, told you, devil, it's all devil.
That's Hollywood, baby.
In Hollywood, baby. But yeah, I do find fashion is one of the things I sort of wish I cared more about. Do you know what I mean? But I just can't
I'm
bring
sure
myself.
Billy would agree with you on that one. Just like,
It's just your abomination to look at.
yeah.
Yeah. And also, there's no point me spending money on clothes because I dribble food and alcohol and water all over myself all the time. So I spend $3,000 on a shirt for it to be literally in the bin.
It's just going to
What's
get
the
a stain.
point,
You're just
innit?
going to chundle all over it. So
Just gonna throw up. Have to clean up myself with it. You know. But yeah. Ah, yeah. Ah.
how have you found it? Because you've been in a relationship now you're official.
Yeah.
Woo! That's
Yeah,
big.
buddy. You official, Bill?
I think so.
I don't know. Have you told? Does she know?
Sorry,
that?
ladies. He's gone. Oh, I know you're all crying now. What could have been, eh?
How many times do you think you've? Like, I'm not even. I'm genuinely not going to say that. That is shit. What I was about to say.
You're a nasty bloke.
I don't want this cut out as well. I want to keep this in because people will know that actually I do a lot to stop myself saying awful things. I mean, it's important people know that I do try. Yeah, I do try and stop myself.
Yeah, because I don't think some people will be surprised by that. I think you.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah.
You know, because in a professional sense, we all, whether it's the colleague or the customer. Or
How
something,
different are you professionally to how you are personally? Just gonna, before you say anything, I think you're pretty close. I've seen you in professional mode and normal mode, and there's not much of a distinction.
Yeah.
Whereas some people can really have this like professional, personal, which I do wonder is that like, why do people actually what is that? That there's like people just immediately go into like there's that joke about like why do we do a different voice when you're on the phone? What is that thing of that immediately the situation changes so you change to match it immediately?
Well, it's the mask which you believe you have to put on to achieve that certain to do that certain job.
To send a message, like to be what you're meant to be in your head, meant to be perceived as.
Yeah, because if you've been, especially the training, it's professional. You can't be your full authentic natural self in a professional setting.
No, but ironically, the best sales pitches I've ever done felt like I was having a chat with a mate,
and I would say,
and I was
yeah,
my normal self. And the best salespeople I have, the line between them as a salesperson and as a person, it's very rare that it's contrasting that line.
But I think the last year, I've never had to really ask for the sale. I mean, we all do it in certain ways, but it comes up naturally. I'm not having to, that what you get taught early days in sales training, got to go for the sale at the end, copies of closes. And as you realize over time, if you can have just a decent conversation with someone on the human level, because ultimately, it doesn't matter what product, service, solution you're selling, whatever market it is, it's all about the human conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that person trying to do? Asking the right questions. And actually, this is a good tee up because next month we have the master sales guru on.
Yeah, what we want to
So,
do, I do you know what I'd like. This is actually one goal I would have for the podcast is to get it just enough of a size where we can get people to ask questions. Just have like a little question segment, and most of them will be like, "Why haven't you killed yourself yet? Have you got our hate mail? You know, we're coming, all that stuff."
Yeah, leave now. Or
Yeah.
never come back.
Like, but they're interdispersed amongst those, you know, sort of fairly challenging messages. There'd be some interesting questions that to ask someone like him, who is coming on the podcast, and is probably knows more about sales than us combined, would be quite interesting actually. But yeah, he is coming on, and he's got how many years experience has he got?
40, yeah.
It's a lot
From
of
the
years.
80s to how it's evolved. Massive. You know, just how the selling process, all the different tools. I think that's the problem now. Like, you hide behind all these, the software stuff, hoping it's going to, but ultimately it's just human connection. Can you connect with the other? It's like, it's really simple when you think about it. We make
Why
it
are people
complicated.
bad at sales? That's my question to you.
Because it's the obvious thing. It feels forced. You know, it's already a transactional thing, but because you're in sales mode and I'm scripted, I'm thinking about what I've got to say. You've gone into there, and it's a robotic. You're following this process of how a typical sale should look like. You've been trained in, and don't get me wrong, there are sometimes like certain products where you do, and it's super professional setting. There's an expectations. There's multiple stakeholders at play, and in the dynamic, the proper presentations and doing the formalities of what a sales process looks like. But I think we can get strung up on losing then the touch of, there's a human being across from me who's probably super stressed, who needs this thing that solving problems.
Has a problem to be solved.
It's not the features and benefits of this product that I'm selling, and I've got to make sure that I get enough of the perfect equation of how many product features and benefits should I get and the clear outcomes. No, it's like, okay, what does it actually solve for them? How does it make them look? Are they trying to impress someone within their organization, or is it just, again, lots of different scenarios, but it's always about the human side. You can get there, get them talking.
Ironically, I am
What do you
actually
think?
really easy to sell to.
You're easy. Yeah.
Just like just like in Cyprus, walk past something, and someone's like, "You want that, don't you?" In Turkish. I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Would you like that?" Pretty much. I'm like, "Yeah, actually." But I actually do sort of want that, just because you pointed it out now, and it sort of is quite good in a way. And I like being sold to as well. I don't know why that is. It's like I sort of enjoy. It's sort of a weird thing I've got where I just sort of like in a way. I don't know. It's almost relaxing. I don't know why that is. That I just like it. I like being sat across someone and they're pitching me for a change.
It's a nice feeling.
Even if it's little things like a souvenir shop, and
Unless
someone's
it's
like,
really bad, then it's horrible.
Yeah, but then even then, I sort of do like that as well. I like it when someone's like too aggressive with the sales pitch.
You're like, calm down.
I just want to be like, oh, I love this. I love watching you.
Mate, you want to go to fucking Marrakesh? Talk about aggressive.
I heard, yeah, really.
That's
quite
far
pushy, innit?
That's
Egypt as well is another one that really pushy.
lovely, lovely place, wonderful people, but the market you go through, it's like, it didn't help because I was with Billy,
Blonde woman.
Yeah, for anywhere like that. And I'm not going to take away the hustle from them, because I thought to myself, day in, day out, that is a serious hustle, and they're shifting products around, and there's thousands of people going through. But they actually made the experience so bad that you couldn't actually really buy anything. Well, not for our personalities maybe, and the way we are. It was just too much. It was too full on. I mean, some people, I think most people in Europe don't like that too hard sale where it's literally like just in your face. You're not leaving.
It's sort of they are a very nuanced example of that. But the American culture of business is so different to ours. It's
massively
so much more.
Well, they say yes, and you'll never hear from them again. I mean, we do that here as well.
Oh, but it's just so much more like
obvious. It's like obvious
yeah,
selling.
it's like this is now a sales conversation. Like every syllable is like sale. But it's like normal. Whereas in England we have this thing where we sort of, it's just such a cultural thing where we just dance around what we want to say, but because of like etiquette and politeness, and like
You've got to take action today, man.
That's exactly what
this
Americans,
will change your fucking life.
That's exactly what it is, and it's like, I remember I had a few American companies pitch me for stuff, and I've laughed down the phone because the way they're delivering it is hilarious.
Unbearable.
It's like they're like reading off 30 benefits of this product, like each one more emphasized than the last, and at the end they're like, "There you go."
Matt, I would have bought on the first one.
When are you gonna sign? And he's just like just laughing, like, mate, what was that half an hour I've just listened to? Whereas in England, I feel like you get so much little. We're brutal in England, the way we judge and perceive other people,
Especially on the phone. People keep saying like cold calling's dead. No way. If you can get it right, but it's fucking horrible. If you can catch someone on the wrong day, the phones are brutal.
Oh mate, yeah. The worst one for me was door-to-door sales for window companies. That'll
do it.
Fuck me, mate. That was up there for one of the most
skin.
like.
You're knocking on someone. I mean,
You had to laugh. You had to just laugh and be like, yeah, this guy has genuinely just opened the door fully naked and told me to kill myself, and then slam the door. That is hilarious way to spend an afternoon. Also, you very quickly learn to, like, I don't know, you fail so much in such a concentrated time doing door-to-door stuff that it is funny and toughens you up immediately. There was one time when I was doing it for solar. When I first started the solar company, I was like, I got no leads. Zero. I've got no money coming in and I owe people money. So I went round.
Bad place to be.
Yeah, real bad. So I was like walking around estates, mindlessly just knocking on doors, being like, hey, do you want can you buy shit from me, please? Pretty much. Like the pitch was just awful.
What was the worst one do you remember?
The worst thing I did, I knocked on a door. This guy opens it. I'm like, and this was the first knock of the route I had planned. And he was like, this is quite funny. He let me do this 10-minute speech. I did covered all the points. I was like, this is like, we're a good company. We're local. We'll look after you. And he just went, and I was like, looked up, a whole roof full of solar panels. And he was just like he didn't even say anything. He's like, close the door, like that. And the fact that he let me do that whole thing for 10 minutes, and then he must have been thinking, I've got you, little prick, I've got you. You're going to knock on my door and disturb my day? Cool. I'll waste 10 minutes of your life. He didn't even really laugh. He just gave me a little smile, like, you're a loser, mate. That's how it felt. And I was like, that hurt. That one hurt, actually. But I walked, and that was the first house on a street, and I just remember just being like, how thick? But as soon as you fail that hard and that embarrassingly, every other part of that day is easy, because you can't
fail hard,
fuck
man.
that. How can you? That is one of the most stupid things you can do. Is not even look at the places you're trying to sell solar panels to.
It's the number one way to basically be successful at anything. If you can get comfortable with the cringe and that feeling of rejection.
Mate, it used to cringe me out so
It doesn't
bad.
get any easier, really, does it?
No, it doesn't get easier. You just get a bit tougher.
I think you accept. I mean, no, it's not even acceptance. You felt it. I guess you. Yeah, the thick skin element of it's never it's not. I used to take it personal, and even now sometimes I'm like,
it's
they didn't
so
go
easy.
ahead, or
it's so easy.
they're
to
saying
get
that's
personal.
about me, and it's like, well, yeah, you got to take full accountability and responsibility, because somewhere along the line, a lot of salespeople I've spoken to, it's like, okay, well, how did they go with the other? They won't even go, they won't pick up the phone or email and ask, what was it about the other company what you went for in the end? They don't, because they don't want to. They're
hear something they don't want to know. Yeah,
they don't want to hear. But in the end, I got quite good at doing that, and it was like, yeah, I really like you, Ruby. You're a sort of likable person, believe it or not. But yeah, sort of in the end, it was like, that's when you can be too friendly.
Yeah,
You know?
over-familiarity is dangerous because
Over-familiarity.
people suddenly think... Because that's the other American thing they do. Is it's so like they'll use your first name. Do you remember that like Jordan?
Oh, well, use the
Jordan,
name.
what's her name?
Jordan Belfort.
His like picture. Hi, John. To the whales, like the big investors, because before it, like when they were selling the penny stocks, it was like, well, Mr. Peterson, and it was like addressing him formally, and then Jordan flipped it so he would talk informally to the big boys, to be like, I'm cutting through the noise and calling you by your first name, which immediately adds familiarity and makes you relax.
Yep.
And he was probably one of the first to really do that on a... Well, I don't know actually if that's true, but he was publicly very good for it.
Yeah.
But the American culture is more familiar, more friendly, more like... I feel like it's far more forgiving.
There's an expectation already there.
Yeah, they're not instinctively inclined to be negative, which is interesting. Like they're more positive as a nation, I think, Americans.
Especially around entrepreneurs.
Yeah, 100%. They have a far more like
business sense.
Go and get. You know,
Respect,
everyone
like,
famine, feast culture, not famine. Whereas the UK, we're like, if anyone does anything really, you're just like, that is shit, and
it's
you're
really
shit.
bad now. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
I can't. I mean, most people here. I mean, this might just be my perspective. I'm sure, Rebecca, but it's like they can't wait. Just I want to see, because you know, if
we love a failure in England, don't we?
Especially because probably look at me and you, like a fucking average blokes.
Yeah.
How the hell? Because it makes if you're at home or you're just dossing around and you're lazy,
average.
You're like below average, and you're like, oh fuck's sake, that makes me feel a little bit shite, because they're able to do those things. I'm better than them, or smarter than them, or whatever you want to, in any sort of thing. You go,
well, have you heard that thing? It's like people will clap for you up until the point you surpass them. And then you know what I mean? Like,
it's a bit.
There's
quite a
like
lot
we
of
have
that
this thing in England where it's like we sort of punch up a lot. Where like if someone's got more than you, you sort of intrinsically, it's not really a healthy relationship.
They inherited that.
Yeah, it's not.
They hit the lottery.
It's not like I don't think it's. I don't think it's. It can't. It's not obviously not everyone, but in my experience, it's never been someone doing more than me that has given me shit for doing stuff.
No.
It's never really that like.
It's always some lazy fucker, or look. Most people, the comfort's so fucking strong that you just end up. The mediocrity it's just takes over, doesn't it? Really.
To be honest, yeah. I mean,
which is okay as well, because you need a lot of, like I told you before, you need a lot of people that do just be really good at that sort of level, and that's actually fine. Like, there's a certain level for all of us, and we're actually trying to pretend that you're. And I felt a little bit like that this last year, of like, no, but I am someone that can operate at this level. But then sometimes you go, blimey, this, maybe I'm. But then you got to have that belief. It's that's constant belief all the time. Every single pursuit, you got to don't lose the enthusiasm.
Yeah, and also a lot of that comes from just accepting when you've completely failed. Like knowing when to walk away is as important as celebrating when you're doing well, because a lot of people just which is exactly what you're going through right now. You know that you need to change something. A lot of people don't even have that revelation until it explodes. But like I always think like it's not just a rule for me, but everyone should have the rule: don't accept criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from.
Yeah,
like
simple things.
It's so like if someone like people let people's opinions of them completely ruin everything. But it's like, would you go to this person for advice? They go, no. It's like, so why are you accepting criticism? Criticism in a way is like advice's little brother. It's sort of like, but it's just the context of those words that make it criticism or advice. Do you know what I mean? Like you could criticize someone in an advisory way and it be taken as advice, or you could advise someone in a critical way and be taken as criticism. But it's the context. But then people think like, what, like, I don't understand why people It's not that I don't. That's not completely not true. I do understand why people are so worried about other people's opinions, but that has to be one of the first things you unlearn as you become an adult. If you have that ingrained, because at what point are you gonna? When does
It
that
holds you back.
Where
It'll
does
hold
that
you back.
end? That
Yeah.
like, but I can't remember who said that about the don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from. Someone said it to me a very long time ago.
There's different variations of it now.
Yeah,
But it's,
and it is so true though, because but then the other side of it is, no, also take criticism from people you take advice from. So don't just listen to half of that rule. You have to then abide to the other half, which is if someone who you would go to advice for is criticizing you, whatever that word actually means, then
just feedback.
You can't like fucking lose your head and be like, well, why? Because it's in our nature to, whenever someone tells us something we don't want to hear, we look for the worst possible reason that they've said that. Like if I said to you, mate, you're like, between you and I think you're putting on a lot of weight. Because it's not necessarily, well, not necessarily, it's not something you ever want to hear, and it's
my metabolism's shot.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Which may be true.
Yeah. Well, whatever the circumstances, you immediately think like the reason he's saying that is the worst possible reason he's saying that, even though you would go to advice for that from that person. Does that make sense? Whereas like when you take the advice, you know they're saying it from love, but when they give you criticism, you immediately think, why the fuck is he saying that? When it's the same thing, the same love is the advice and the criticism. Obviously, there's like context involved where like if someone shouts fatty at you as you're driving away, maybe not. But I think people need to, and that's funny enough. That's the other thing Americans are really good at is taking criticism. They're so much more blunt with it, and
because they're just constantly trying to evolve, trying to learn, and up their game.
A lot of other cultures are just blunt as fuck with how like they criticize you, and they'll be like in a meeting, and they'll be like, "You're not adding any value to this meeting." Yeah, fair enough. I'm not. But in England, that's like mental. That is mental to say that to someone in England, isn't it? Like you're adding nothing right now. Which is it's just such a God. We're such a weird race, the English, aren't we? The UK, such a weird culture we have. Because we hate being told stuff, but we're also so vocal. It's mental, isn't it? Like
it's a weird paradoxical thing, really.
Crazy, yeah.
What once upon a time it was an amazing place. Still is. We're still holding on. Baby.
Once upon a time, amazing. I don't know enough about it to know if it was. Define amazing.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a strong word. Well, I guess somewhere where people will get along, you can do a decent job, feed your family, and not be.
Oh yeah, the country is on its arse quite a lot, isn't it? I can't even think about it again. Can't deal with thinking about it.
Let's not go there.
Stresses. It doesn't even. Do you know? It doesn't even stress me out. It just drains my energy.
And
thinking about it.
You've nailed this because you don't spend much time paying any attention to politics or the latest nonsense, whatever's going on, because, and I've slowly learned this it took me a bit longer than you, but just whether it's Labour's in, Conservatives in, fucking Green Party in, whatever, which should never happen, but yeah, whoever's in, whatever the current chessboard is, we just play it as best as we can within those rules, and each time it changes, again, you might pivot a little bit. It doesn't really make that much difference.
I guess don't
try and fight the game. It's like,
yeah, I guess we have to be a little bit careful because we come from a place of privilege in the sense that we don't need the state for benefits. So legislation that change benefits could completely ruin our lives. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we're in a place of security in the sense that we can be independent from politics in the sense that we can forge our own path. Whereas, for a lot of people, they can't do that. So it's far more. And you know what?
But I've got to interject there. This might get cancelled, but there's very few. I genuinely believe there's very few occasions where people should be on benefits. Some clearly obvious ones, but to have 52% when we've got however millions of job vacancies. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of those jobs will be absolutely hideous, but we've got the most people out of work there ever has been, the most sick, and that's partly to blame on the culture, what we've been sold as work. But I think with social now, if I was younger, I'd probably be the same as some of these young chaps or young girls that are looking out and going, fuck this, do I want to be in an office?
Yeah.
In this dead end job, wherever it might be. But there's no what I'm trying to just get round to is like it. Yes, if you're like, obviously if health comes, the obvious things. Let's take away the obvious things. Like if you've got bad health, critical conditions, you can't work, and that makes it really tough. Like I've disabilities, that's necessary, no problem. But a lot of it, I believe, comes down to like, yes, you got a terrible deck of cards that you got dealt as a kid, but I just think we lived in caravans. We moved around 15 to 18 times within fucking 2 years. At one point, my mum was skint after after all that stuff happened, and it was like frozen meals for a long time, just about, sometimes skipping meals, working two to three jobs. So I saw that. So I guess she could have given up, which would have then I would have seen. So to be fair, to big up, mum, there's been a whole, like, if you don't have that, there's nuance to it, but at least I had that. So then,
you basically saw what perseverance can do, for everyone. But I guess the problem is now, again, based on just my opinion on it, because I don't know for sure, but problem is now the alternative is not better than what the state's providing, if you know what I mean. Like, as you said, why you would, in a way, financially be stupid to not accept what is currently the situation and just lean into the government's benefit system. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's
some circumstances, yes, I know what you're saying. Yeah, especially with there's a very clear one on that with the nursery costs with people that have kids, like up to the upper band of 100,000 or whatever. It actually makes no sense for the other person to work because there literally is, you're working for free. So no, I get all of that, but I think in probably fewer cases where you can't work at least one full-time job or two jobs to get by and actually be better off than just taking the benefits and proving to your kids and just for your self-worth, self-image, which is unbelievably powerful, and being someone that, I think, there's a bigger picture there, a being of example. Otherwise your kid, they're going to see that we just took benefits, we just took it easy, we took the easy way out, versus
I guess I'd say, like, never attribute to malice what is probably ignorance. And the thing is, people aren't fine. Maybe it's an education thing where people who don't grow up with money, who are then given money in this system, never learn. Oh God, there's so many different nuances you could go. Like, this is why politics is just insane to me, because every single case seems to be the most nuanced thing possible. And it's just like, I don't even know where to start with stuff like this. Because it's like, you say one thing and then you're like, well, but what about these 5 case studies? You know what I mean? It's like an endless
I know what you're saying. I just think you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful how... I think it gets easy to find any excuse or we all have all these limitations. Again, you can find things to basically say to let yourself off, and sometimes you don't want to be so hard.
I do understand what you're saying.
You've got to be so careful, I think, because that will play through to if you've got that's my ceiling where I'm going to be, and I can always just, you know what, I'm going to be saved. There's someone that's going to, which is the government or whoever, like it's just not going to serve you, man. And like as a bloke, I think it's inherently in our nature to go out to be.
And also that no one's coming to save you is a very, very important lesson to learn. And also, if you are relying on the government to fund everything when you could work, I guess, then what happens if that tap turns off? Where does that leave
Which it
a
well
whole
could do.
generation of people, I guess?
The biggest reframing for me, and I said this last time, but is if you look at it now, you read a lot of things online, try not to read online, or hear it, right? And it's, why is this happening to me? Oh, it's all the environment's so bad, economy's fucked. And it's just like, but you can keep like, you just gotta say like, what, if you're in a bad situation right now, be it you're on benefits or fucking, I don't know, your finances are screwed, your health's bad. Like me at the moment with my health, you can keep going, oh no, I feel really terrible. And, it's just because I'm working really hard. It's just a byproduct of doing that. It's like, no, what did I do to attract this into my life? Number one, reframing, because then you can go, okay, you start to see the patterns or the choices or the decisions that you were making, which ended up here. And just saying on that finance part, I just see it time after time. I told you about the debate I was watching the other day, where the average person's going to read that, about the crypto and about when's the perfect time to buy a house or whether the renting market's good or the stock market. Most people are going to play it safe, but they'll complain about being miserable in a job or hating the job, but they won't create leverage because they'll just keep spending the money frivolously.
Yeah, but you're right from a bird eye point of view, but the problem is people don't perceive reality like that because they work hard. Let's say they're working on minimum wage, and then your highlight of your week is getting a takeaway, and that takeaway money is your leverage money over 3 years. It's very hard, although it's a discipline thing. It's very hard to strip away the tiny little bits of pleasure people have in their weeks or months for a bigger picture. Very hard to do that. And although you are right, it's a crucial skill to learn, like delayed gratification, like build pennies until they're pounds. But like the problem is, it's like, we know some no examples of that. It's just like, how can you get through to, how can you get that message into people's head without, it's so complicated because I really understand both sides of it, where it's like, because I've been awful with money where I should have been saving money, but I just couldn't think further than.
No, you're right.
Do you know what I mean?
I have to be careful,
took time.
Well, this is coming from, I think I feel like I have some level of authority, and that's, you'll be careful there. But it's because I was the dickhead. I started, so after Ticket Zone stuff, selling on the phones, about £7,000 to £8,000 a year. My first proper full-time job, telesales, I was on 14k basic. And so when I'm about 18 to 19, I think it was until, got some good commission started coming after a year. But I literally blew that at the time on going out Thursday to Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Like
and whatever, and then gambling. And like I said, I got into 40k on paper. That was around 40k of debt plus owing friends and family, within the space of a few years. And if someone I'm just thinking now, like you said about financial education. They don't teach none of this in school. I don't think they ever will. No matter how many campaigns come out now and how far we're years down the road of them. Yes, there's some like certain academies, and I think they're doing some, evening classes about finance and stuff these days, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and also again, it fills me with a sort of the education system, especially with AI, is nearly pointless now. There was a case study of 30 students submitting AI written papers and a teacher using AI to mark them. So it's sort of like AI is testing AI on grammar, and that's the school system. And then it's like someone just ticks it. You know what I mean? Like the way we learn now is different because the tools we have to learn are different. So I just think if I was in charge of education now, I'd just be like, it all has to change. Like all of it has to change. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying you can want it to change, and keep hoping things are going to change. The things are going to get better. And I'm saying that doesn't help someone right now. I'm just like hoping, like, if you can, again, most people unfortunately probably need to go into a dark place or like hit rock bottom to finally make the different to make the change in their lives. But if I can save them a bit of time, it's like, why was I gambling? 18, I was earning half decent money at 18, 40, not a lot of money, but back then it was okay for first job. But I just literally spunked it up the wall. I bought cars because I was that dickhead who, again, came from no money. I suddenly new money, wanted to start being perceived as being well. And I think I had comments like, "Oh, your dad probably bought you that Audi." I was like, "No, I've got that on fucking £400 finance or whatever it is." What I'm trying to say, I was putting on £500. Some of the worst things I did. I mean, we would go to Ladbrokes, and again, it's £2 spin now, you bastards. But it used to be unlimited. I think £200, £250 per spin. So we would go in there and
just funnel money down the bin.
You get some good wins, but obviously never enough. And I was putting £500 on Suarez to score a hat trick, and random shit like that. But it was because I constantly wanted a quick win. And in this environment now, I reckon young kids are looking at crypto and going, "Oh, what's the latest shit coin I can quickly get into?" Versus if somebody, what's what I'm trying to say? Sorry, to summarize is if my mum or dad, I'm not putting it on them. I'm saying because they didn't have the education or the people, the guidance around them, and this is why the old money keeps the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because we have to somehow have somewhere along the line, someone needs to come along, and me and a close friend of mine always talk about this. But if someone had shown, Ruben, instead of you gambling, like, look at this company over here, it's a new company. You can buy individual stocks, or you can buy parts of the market, be it the FTSE 100, top 100 companies UK, or S&P 500, let's say, ETF. And it's passive. So instead of you going and gambling, you can actually get a 10% return.
I think
I get at the time, I know I still would have been like, oh no, but the £500 turns into £7,000 but the odds of it happening. But once I started to see, what I'm trying to say is, after the 40k I got into, I then got so obsessed with financial literacy because I never wanted to feel like that again. I bought a house with a friend, my first house at 21, and I took out a loan to be able to get the deposit because I lost it in Vegas because I went there for my 21st. So I had that money in the account, lost that.
It's just such a car crash of a sentence, that, isn't it?
Oh, Christ almighty. I remember putting a suit. I told you, I put a suit on, went down my last day and went, I'm fucking coming out of there. And what last bit of few £1,000 I'd left. Just the feeling. You imagine sat there on the way back. I had to go up and tell Jeff and Ryan that I've just completely spunked it. And I felt sick. I felt so sick to my stomach because I was then thinking, shit, am I going to be accepted for a loan to keep? I didn't want to let my mate down. Oh God, it actually gives me, and I know there's a lot of people out there,
feeling.
Seriously, yeah. And so I had to. What I'm trying to say is, I really hope people don't have to be that bad to then stop doing whatever they're doing right now. Even just a few quid on accumulators, or your horses, or your fucking badgers racing, wherever it is. Like, just stop that shit.
But financial literacy isn't about stopping bad behaviours. It's making sure that you've got enough good ones so that you can't sink the ship.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because when you try and tell a 21-year-old kid stop drinking, it's not
a lot of people need to go teetotal.
It doesn't work like that with people when you're young in that sense.
No, it doesn't.
It's more about, look, still do all the stupid things you want to do, but at the same time start building good things that will reward you later. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Just get a feel for it.
Just start. Don't close yourself off to the good things just because you're young enough to enjoy the bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel.
And I feel because if you start going down the route of don't fucking gamble to kids, like to 18-year-old lads, all right, yeah, cheers. I'll definitely won't do that.
Don't watch porn. Yeah,
it's just not how you get through to people that age. It's not about like replacing what they're doing. It's about building skills that.
Well, this is No, it's perfect because that's what I was trying to say. If someone said, "Okay, go and put the 250 on Suarez, but put the other 250 on Tesla."
Yeah, exactly.
And then
whatever you gamble, you invest.
And as soon as I started to do that.
But then even then, I think about when I was 18, it's going to be told. I didn't care. That's the thing. You care about your future now. When you're that age, you don't care about it.
You care about the weekend.
Exactly. You don't think bigger than the next 2 days.
Next pint.
So, there's a context of framing there which is important. That regardless, and that's another thing about like saying it should be taught in schools. Although I do agree with that, we were taught loads of things in schools that we didn't care about. What makes you think kids are going to care about financial literacy? Saying that, they might pick up one or two bits and pieces that are good.
Well, they're going to see it more now on TikTok and on all these social platforms. They're going to see more things, but they've got to be careful then not to the sharks out there. They're going to offer them the next greatest, because everyone's looking for bigger returns, because we want to know the saying, like, yes, it's all boring. Like, how to make money really, money sustainable, and the longevity of money is like, it's boring. But the first part is, can you even save 5 minutes or whatever you've got left? First of all, do you know what money? Because that's what. Sorry, to finish off, is when I was in that, came back, I got the loan out. I then realised after a couple of months of working, I got a pay rise at the time. I was then on 24k basic, but all my salary plus a bit of commission, but all my salary was basically paying off the debt, of course. So every month.
Oh Christ, yeah.
And I was like, and I remember just driving to a client meeting on site, selling concrete and screed at the time, and I was like, Jesus, I can't walk in. They're going to tear me apart. Because I was a bit ropey, because I'd just been on the phone to a creditor saying, you missed a payment. Now you're going to start charging interest and all this stuff. And I remember just smashing my steering wheel, just saying, what the fuck have I done? And it actually dawned on me finally. And I drove home and I literally cried myself to sleep. Like 21, yeah. And again, on the outside, nobody would have seen. But I had some awful thoughts. On the way back, a lorry's coming. You're thinking,
why not? Let's end this in one fell swoop.
I gotta go, because I ain't getting out of this. 40, it was going to take me however long and I had to call the creditors. So that was a really long process, but blimey. Obviously then within 3.5 years, I went from -40 plus own friends and family to 100,000 quid. Net worth.
Yeah, and it's like,
cash,
it's one of those, you can't, you are an extremist. So most people never, at the age of 21, never getting 40 grand of debt. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
I'd be surprised now, but no,
yeah.
hopefully
I
not
suppose
average,
like student loan counts.
No,
but it's not the same. No, it's not the same, is it?
Yeah, not the same, because that's over.
Your debt was actual debt, wasn't it? Like
like very
like loan debt,
shopping, proper credit card, high APR and all sorts. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to know.
Student loans is you don't pay it back until you earn a certain amount, and then it's over until you basically
dead.
Pay off. Yeah, until you're dead most cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that phase where I had to learn, like, that's when I got, after I did the same stuff with the creditors, then understanding every because I still think most people, Tom, don't know down to a T what money's coming out. And it's just some basic things where people want to ignore their situation. Like, people don't want to check their bank accounts after a weekend. We used to joke about it. Mate, what if you just fucking spent at Fever? Like, yeah, mate, I spent 40 quid in a round. Absolutely blew it. Treated her. Yeah.
Triple it.
Triple that. But people don't want to check their bank accounts after they've been paid and stuff, or if they've had a long weekend, because they're scared of what's going to be left. Whereas, first of all, you got to know exactly down to the penny. Even the extra Apple storage, I like $2.99. I knew exactly what was starting to come out. So to start there, and then work out what can you realistically save, what can you give up right now. You've got to cut something somewhere. And this is it's only if you want to start getting some control in your life. That's what I'm saying. I'm not forcing anyone to. I just want to say, like, what is the thing? You've got to first paint your North Star. One, you're either going to come from a negative place, so I never want to be here again. I had the thing of wanting to security because of being a kid and not having that much. So if you come from a bit of money, you're probably not going to have, so you're going to come from somewhere maybe a bit more positive, which is probably a better thing. But you've got to, like, what's the reason? Mine was to get away from never being in this position again. Yours could be because you're saving to buy your first house or to have a bit more control, leave home, which, by the way, the first time buyers now is around 36 to 37 years old. This keeps going up and up because clearly they're doing such a great job with housing.
Yeah, I like the idea that we've seen people pull themselves back from like ridiculous situations. Like, some people have the ability to bounce back so well from awful things, and then they're the best people to. Oh god, it's complicated with finance because you really need to, as you said, knuckle into the whys. What is your why with money?
Deep.
And that, do you know what? Talking about culture again, the English are so weird about money. It's a weird relationship with money as well. It's like so like
secretive and
quiet about it and weird, and it's like taboo to talk about it with other people, and like it's just this. I think it's getting better, but I think it's hard to make people care about it until life makes them care about it. Do you know what I mean? But that's usually the best lesson. It's, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, money is one of those things where life will teach you for you the rules and what's good. And it might actually ruin your life for a few years or ruin other people's lives around you, but you're going to learn the lesson at some point about money.
The lesson's going to hit you.
Some people don't, but there's always people like that. They'll never, like that financially, just, it will never work for them. Like, and they always sort of dart from one disaster to another. But
I think people are ran by their impulses and their desires. Naval had a great quote where he says, "Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want." And I think people are constantly chasing this next
I like
thing,
that. It's
right?
good. That's good.
You know, they're chasing this thing, and that's what I didn't truly pay attention until I realised how. Again, like I say, you don't want to go to that place, but it's like I had to paint a. You have to almost live in the future as well. You got to suffer. But what I'm trying to say is, eventually, I had to paint such a vivid picture of what it would look like to have 1,000 saved. You know, it seems ridiculous, but for anyone that's trying to save, it's like the 50 quid extra per week or even month to begin with. So you build your saver, you build your buffer. So at least your boss or your work haven't got you by the ghoulies, because they know when you're a bit desperado and you're coming in and you're sort of spending money, you go, oh, I'm skint this month. They're like, okay, well, do I need to give him much of a pay rise? You know, so there's a lot it affects if you actually think about the bigger picture. But just to begin with, like, can you start to show yourself that you're actually someone that sticks to what they say and can save a certain amount per month? Start small, and then as you do that, build your buffer 3 to 6 months of your outgoings. So at least you can tell your boss to F off if you really, you know, but maybe not the first thing. I've had a couple of bad bosses, but at least it gives you more flexibility. And then it's like a game. You know, there's stages to this
Money
game.
is a game.
It's a game.
And that's the
and eventually got to
that's
invest.
the truth people really struggle with.
You're going to work your whole life.
It is literally the game of Monopoly. It's
It
literally
is.
moving numbers around.
Yeah.
Like old money, they just move money around. Like big businesses just move money around, and like it's like that old adage that money is the same as water. It trickles, formless, comes, it goes, evaporates, rains. You know what I mean? It has multiple forms.
Let it serve you. It's a tool.
I feel like for a lot of people, you got to just like let them fuck it up. I just thought that would, although you can say learn from my mistakes, people don't really learn from anything other than their mistakes, because their mistakes hurt. You know what I mean? And money is the perfect example of that, because you need to be, for me, I had to be skint and failing and eating like plain pasta 3 times a day. You know what I mean? Like I had to be fucking miserable with money and have this awful relationship with it to then learn it's not going to work long term. And yeah, fair enough, I could have invested in the S&P 500 10 years ago and built up like 100 grand now residual, like that investment. But it's like, nah, what money's done is what my bad relationship with money's done is taught me the skills to make the money that I should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone is different with it, and it's just some people, like some businesses. When I get into their finances with them, I'm just like, what? It's like, what is happening here? Like the financial literacy is zero with some businesses. And it's like you've spent 80 grand on a neon sign. Why? You're on a high street.
Yeah, they might have done when the money's flowing in, though, because that's what people think the money's going to come forever.
Yeah.
When you're flying, or and it's not. And it's, what do you do with that strategically? I think it's applying the business thing. It's like applying that to your personal life. You know, especially when you got other people involved. When it's just you, it's like, yeah, you can fuck your whole life up fine. Like,
most lads. Well, no, not most, but a lot of lads I know only started saving money when they got a missus.
Yeah.
Only just like, oh yeah, maybe I should think about my future.
Well, that's actually why at 22.
Because like when you,
it's true.
Lads are far more inclined just to live impulsively until they have something they care more about than. You know, they need a sort of bigger picture in order to dedicate any energy. Otherwise, you just get smashed every week. You don't care. But then, as soon as you've got someone chucks a bigger picture at you, you're like, okay, maybe I'll not spend 500 quid this weekend. You know what I mean? And but it's different for men and women. Money. I think there's a different attitude towards it. There's a different culture around it. It feels different in a way. But yeah, I just to most 18, if 100 18-year-olds asked me to all sit down with them individually, my advice to all of them would be the same. There are ways at your age, you've got time on your hands to fuck up and bounce back, which is one way of learning. And if that's not your personality and you're not you're not likely to fuck it up because you're a steady person, then you are laughing. Put £5 a week away. Invest. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that
it's you are right. It's so individual as to your own goals, your North Star, what you're working towards, where you find joy, what do you value the most. I just think you've got to paint the picture forward. If you want to imagine yourself at 50, 60, 65, relying on the state where, it's going up to 70 probably by the time we retire, maybe more. And will there be a pension there? Probably not. So if you basically, and look, the world we can already play a one soon anyway, so it probably won't even matter what they are. But if you want to have some level of comfort in your life and not be working for the man and body's knackered and health fucked or whatever it might be, just a bit of leverage and actually enjoy the finer things of life, then you are going to have to hunker down and be super disciplined for a little bit and to start showing yourself that.
Or be 1% more disciplined every month.
Yeah, just 1% every month.
Like,
don't try and go from zero to hero.
Yeah.
There's no point because you're just going to you're going to go, oh shit, I've hit 3,000 quid now. Hold on, that's going to buy me, I can get a half decent motor now, or I can afford this on finance, and get the credit thing. You've got to. They got us, like I said, the guy that invented the overdraft, funny enough, his £9 billion yacht was called overdraft. These little tools and tricks.
There's something very dark about that.
Why is Klarna so successful? Buy now, pay in full, split the payments, don't think about it. It's this quick, the BNP, it's just... They're tired of this emotion. They know they've got you. I'm just saying, take control back. If you're fine with being... I'm saying, if you're fine with being skint, you hear from most people moaning. That's what I mean, Tom. If you hear from most people moaning, whether it's friends, family, acquaintances, people in business, and yeah, sometimes you have a bad bit of stroke of luck, and fine, you get back up, and it's, but once you start to get more confident, and so you start with the buffer, you then start to put a bit into ETS where it's passive. You haven't got to be a genius to do this stuff. You haven't got to go and research. Oh, okay, so let's look at Nvidia. They're an AI company. Their cash flow's that. What do they pay out dividends in the last quarter? You haven't got to do all that. What's their trajectory looking like for the last year? What's their shareholder? You haven't got to do stupid research. You start passive. When you start to have a bit more that you can play with, you want to be more risky, then you can look at things like your cryptos or looking at the individual stocks.
Yeah, but I feel like you are interested in it as well.
No, I'm interested. Okay, there's part of me that's interested in it.
But what I mean by that is you are a business-minded person, so you see personal finances as a business, whereas the psychology is so different for so many people with money that the thought of even risking a very low risk footsie, whatever, is ridiculous. Why would you do that? That's the frustrating thing about financial literacy, is if someone's on £5,000 a month or £3,000 a month and they tick all their boxes of that, they'll never take any risk. Because why? Like, they don't want to rock the apple cart. But then
I understand that
it's difficult.
Yes.
It's like, this is what I mean. Like you have the fire and the passion to talk about money like this because you were fucked. Most people were never. That's not true. Not most people, but a lot of people are never.
They're just steady. They're
steady. So they don't like. Why that people like that don't take risks? Because why would you? Because you've never needed.
Yeah, you get your premium bonds, and you get which is guaranteed. Yeah. It's backed by the government. That'll be gone. But no, it's backed by you get your savings. You know what's what. The problem is if I put a projection in front of you now, a compound interest calculator, and everyone's always heard this stuff now, and you hear all the time. £200 a month in your savings for the next. Let's say you're 18, or let's say you're even older now. You're 30. 30 years. The difference from the savings at 4% now, roughly 3.5 to 4.5%, versus your let's just say Nasdaq or S&P, you're getting average returns of 10 to 11%. Inflation, ignore that for now. But you're looking at probably 600,000, depending on what you put in. But you're looking at easily, let's just say 200 quid, 300 quid, £500,000 difference. in terms of the end of value.
Yeah.
Now that's
oh, God, yeah. It's a
you know,
millionaire at 60 model, isn't it?
yeah, it's mortgage free. It's you're thinking about the next generation, making your kids' lives a little bit easier. Now that's that's a bit of a tricky one because you don't want to make it that easy. Then that's to fall into that trap, don't you? Anyway, that's a long story. But I'm just saying for people right now, whatever you value, I value traveling, Tom, and travel can be quite expensive.
The travelling I'd want to do is always. I don't want to be in share a room with 50 people. Ever.
No. You can't do public transport.
I really struggle with it.
You'd rather pay an Uber £200 instead of getting on a bus for £3.
How long is the journey?
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm in the Uber.
This is what I mean.
Nah, I'm not. It's not that extreme, is it? It's fucking like
20 minutes, but still.
Well, I
don't know. But hold on, Tom. You add that up, accumulate that, and it's. But anyway, there's something you got to know what you value most in this world. If it's about looking the best and having the latest clothes and doing that, it's fine. But just knowing you're going to be skint, you're going to have a high mortgage. I mean, how many people? And I saw this when I was earning good money in the corporate world, where they've fucking over leveraged in the mortgage. They buy that bigger house, and suddenly you got at the moment 4 to 5%. People are knackered.
But yeah, well, that's the classic case because the more your income goes up, the more your expenditure goes up.
Yeah, but what? Yeah, that's just like someone said that amazing thing. Let's just do that, and let's make it really make us so much more stressed. And I understand if that's your goal, but stretching like that far because what are you doing it for? What is the extra house? A few more empty rooms that you're not going to use.
It's just the blind pursuit of materialism. That's your worth.
Trick the mind.
It's a psychological trap, nothing more. And also people like retail therapy is a crazy sentence, isn't it? Because it sort of works. That's the irony about buying stuff. It sort of for a bit works. I
don't understand what you're saying.
Do you know
because
what I mean?
The thing is, I'm so deep in it now.
Yeah, but you're not a normal person.
I am normal.
Retail therapy, for most people, I mean, it's worked for me.
No. Retail therapy for me is seeing my XRP go to the moon.
Yeah, but that's just because you're on a different financial path.
Yeah,
I'm
joking.
Because you had to be. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. We say I didn't have to be. Well, yeah, I had to be for that small time, but then it's just continued because I realised
you learned the hardest way possible, and therefore could never go back. Whereas most people never learn the hardest way possible. So
why do they need to? They can just.
Why would they listen to anyone about money when their money isn't even on? That's the thing. If you're steady, do you even think about money? You know you're not rich. You know you're not poor.
It's true. It's hard for me to get my head around sometimes that people they don't
care.
Daisy with it.
They don't care. That's the irony with a lot of people. If they make enough money, they know that they'll eat and they can go on a holiday a year. They don't. Why would you care? If that's what makes you happy. That's the other thing with money.
Right.
There's people with it that people talk about it like it's I mean, for me personally, money just basically means freedom. So I want as much as I can get while maintaining the lifestyle I want.
And if you get paid a lot of money, you provided a lot of value somewhere.
Yeah, but then you go and see some of the poorest people on the planet. They're some of the happiest. Zero money. So there's this element of it's hard to dictate to people financial literacy because if someone's incredibly happy, what you're going to try and tell them they'll be happier if they start sacrificing things they're doing now. It's a hard line to draw, isn't it?
I get the YOLO thing. You can't just completely go, oh yes, I'm going to suddenly, okay, that's how much I got left, £400, all into my Vanguard. It's like, no, you've got to have some fun money because you're going to pack in. I mean, with my latest results, I'll probably pack in next week and all this will be nonsense. But yeah, it's like, oh great, I've got however much in my portfolio. And I do understand that part. And I am extreme on that. I've gone extreme now.
Yeah. It's
different. It's different for everybody.
It's different for money is such a weird thing because it means so many different things to different people. Some people ruin their lives trying to get it, and never do. And some people have always had it and never think about it ever, and
Yeah,
everything in between.
You just want
But
it to be a bit easier if you can. I think.
I think there's like
Make your life a bit easier. It does.
there's probably never been a period in history where there's as many tools to make money, I guess, is the sentence I mean there. However, because of the oversaturation of availability of money making, it's nearly impossible to know which. I don't know. Like, it's why like a lot of toddlers want to be, maybe not toddlers, but young kids want to be influencers more than singers. You know what I mean? Like, that used to be like singers. You want to be in a band or whatever was like that's what I want to be when I grow up, or like I want to be in the army, or want to.
Well, if you go to China, you want to be a scientist, you want to be an architect, you want to be
like doctor and
a
stuff,
doctor,
like
yeah, lawyer.
But a lot of kids in like America, UK, they want to be influencers because it's what it is, the new.
That's what you're doing this for, aren't you?
To be an influencer.
Yeah, you want to be.
I want to be
biggest...
like pretty. I want to be pretty insufferable publicly. That's what I want. I can't think of anything worse, actually. Something I want to do less than be an influencer.
Tom, oh my God. You're the person on the shittest podcast I've ever seen. And I want to hold your hand, give you a kiss.
Oh, go away. Can you go away? I started saying that. Could you go away?